Brian Haskins and Private John Grayson are to be executed. Lieutenant Michael Shepard is assigned to oversee the protocol. Moments before Haskins and Grayson are to be shot, the execution is interfered with by a squad of Nazi soldiers. Haskins, Grayson, and Shepard are able to escape in the midst of the firefight. The trio manage to make their way to a small Italian village. The village welcomes them as liberators against the Nazi occupation. They befriend the locals, but soon they discover an incoming Nazi platoon coming to take over the village. These three men are all that stand between the village's freedom and being held under Nazi control. The Dirty Two can be found under a variety of titles: The Liberators, War Fever, and Salt in the Wound. 42nd Street audiences would have enjoyed the film for its flashes of violence, the climactic action sequence resisting the invading Nazi patrol, and for Private John Grayson, played by Ray Saunders. I'll explain the significance of his character in a moment. Kinski was a regular in the spaghetti westerns, the horror and giallo, and action films that would often appear in Grindhouse theaters. Kinski was a familiar face to this particular crowd. Quality-wise, there are some tracking issues, but nowhere near as bad as 3 Men to Kill. It's fair to say that this film is capitalizing on the success of American-produced war films of the time, mainly The Dirty Dozen, as hinted at by the title of The Dirty Two. To the film's credit, it's an accurate title since Shepard is only along for the ride as he is at the mercy of Haskins and Grayson. The Dirty Two is a decent entry in the genre of macaroni combat, along with the likes of Inglourious Bastards, Eagles Over London, Five for Hell, and the 7 Red Berets. With Haskins and Grayson having to help the town, it plays up the theme of self-sacrifice and redemption. These men barely escape a Nazi ambush, being criminals themselves, and being free, yet they are soon back in the very predicament they try to run away from. They also know that without their help, the people in the village will suffer. Tonino Ricci makes his directorial debut with The Dirty Two. He got his start with pirate movies along with sword and sandal films in the role of second unit director, even working under Lucio Fulci for his adaptation of White Fang. He donned the role of director where he tackled westerns, fantasy, sword and sandals, and horror. Riz Ortolani provides the music score. Nothing I can say is memorable regarding his music score, especially when compared to Mean Frank and Crazy Tony or Cannibal Holocaust. Klaus Kinski plays American soldier Brian Haskins, despite the fact that the man is distinctly German. He makes it work. Kinski is an icon of exploitation. His Name Was King, Death Smiles on a Murderer, Grand Slam, Venus and Furs for Jess Franco, the Werner Herzog Nosferatu remake, and the Leone classic For a Few Dollars More. George Hilton makes another appearance on Mack in the movies. One of the films we previously saw him in was Any Gun Can Play, for the previous box set of the Grindhouse Experience. Hilton plays Shepard, who ends up under the custody of Haskins and Grayson. He's not given much to work with, leaving Kinski and Saunders to carry much of the weight of the film. We also saw him in the last episode of the podcast for the Atlantis Interceptors. If you don't recall me mentioning that he was in it before, well, that should kind of tell you the quality of performance he gave. Not reflecting on him as a bad actor, but just more so Deodato's questionable directing of others. Ray Saunders as Grayson is a captivating character. He has these sad, distant eyes that are a constant through the film. I'm not sure if he's haunted by the war or the sins he feels he's committed during the war. There's a subplot between Saunders and a little boy. Saunders tries to keep the boy away from him. One could think that maintaining his distance is his coping mechanism in emotionally dealing with the war. The boy could be a reminder of a responsibility that Saunders isn't able to cope with. There's a lot of depth to this character that people probably aren't going to give him credit for. The Dirty Two came out in 1969, right before blaxploitation was going to charge theaters with heroes and heroines of color. Yet Saunders is a deep, ambiguous character that deserves a spot right along with Dwayne Jones as Ben and Sidney Poitier as Virgil Tibbs. Saunders was one of those rare black heroes that predated the likes of Shaft and Foxy Brown. I enjoyed The Dirty Two. While the film itself is not groundbreaking or innovative, it certainly wasn't boring. You'll be kept invested with the on-screen happenings. The cast sells this film with some great talent.